K-pop stans, let's have an honest conversation. We're not talking about the casual fans who enjoy the music, support their favorite groups, and maybe go to a concert or two. No, we're diving deep into the world of hardcore K-pop stans, the ones who have turned their fandom into an extreme obsession. If you've ever wondered why people say K-pop stans are crazy, buckle up because this is going to be a wild ride. Let's start with the sheer intensity of their devotion. These stans have taken what should be a fun and enjoyable hobby and turned it into a lifestyle. And not just any lifestyle, a cult-like existence where their idols are worshipped like gods. It's one thing to admire someone's talent, but K-pop stans take it to a whole new level. They've created this bizarre hierarchy where your worth as a fan is determined by how much you love, defend, and promote your favorite group. And if you dare to say anything remotely critical about their idols, prepare to face a digital firing squad. These fans have made it their mission to protect their idols at all costs, even if it means unleashing a torrent of hate on anyone who doesn't share their views. It's not just about disagreeing, it's about destroying the opposition. They'll flood your mentions with insults, spam your DMs with threats, and even attempt to get you canceled over the slightest criticism. It's almost as if they've lost sight of reality and are living in this alternate universe where their idols are flawless beings who must be shielded from all negativity. But it doesn't stop there. The fan wars are a whole other level of madness. You've got K-pop stans going head-to-head, fanbase against fanbase, in brutal online battles that make no sense to anyone outside their bubble. They'll argue over chart positions, streaming numbers, and award show wins like their lives depend on it. The energy they pour into these fights is staggering. It's not enough to just support their own group. They feel the need to tear down others in the process. It's not about the music anymore. It's about who can claim victory in these endless, pointless wars. It's exhausting, toxic, and frankly, ridiculous. And let's talk about the way they stalk their idols. Yes, stalk. There's no other word for it. These stans will track their idols' every move, waiting for them at airports, hotels, and even their homes. They've turned into amateur detectives, piecing together clues from social media, flight information, and fan sites to figure out where their idols will be. The level of invasion is mind-boggling. They'll chase their cars, shove cameras in their faces, and even send them gifts that no sane person would ever think of giving. It's not admiration, it's obsession, and it's beyond disturbing. It's one thing to be passionate, but when you're camping out for hours just to catch a glimpse of someone who doesn't know you exist, there's a problem. When you're invading their personal space, violating their privacy, and making them uncomfortable, you've crossed a line. And the craziest part? These stans see nothing wrong with it. They justify their behavior by claiming they're just showing their love and support. But love and support don't look like stalking and harassment. They look like respect and boundaries, something these stans have completely lost sight of. The financial aspect of standing is another story altogether. K-pop stans are notorious for their spending habits. They'll buy multiple copies of the same album, not because they need more music, but because they want to collect all the photo cards or boost their group's sales numbers. They'll drop hundreds, even thousands of dollars on concert tickets, merchandise, and fan events. And let's not forget those ridiculous billboard ads they put up to celebrate their idols' birthdays or anniversaries. It's become a competition. Who can spend the most, who can prove their loyalty through their bank account. It's gotten to the point where being a K-pop stan isn't just about liking a group, it's about being the most dedicated, the most devoted, the most extreme. And that devotion comes with a hefty price tag. These stans are willing to sacrifice their own financial well-being for the sake of their idols. They'll go into debt, skip meals, and neglect their responsibilities just to buy that extra album or attend that fan meeting. It's not healthy, it's not normal, and it's not something to be proud of. The delusion doesn't end with their spending habits. Some of these stans have convinced themselves that they have a personal connection with their idols. They'll create these elaborate fantasies where they believe their favorite member knows who they are, notices them in the crowd, or even shares a special bond with them. It's not just harmless daydreaming, it's a full-blown delusion that fuels their obsession. They'll write fan fiction, create fake scenarios, and even edit photos to make it look like they're interacting with their idols. It's a fantasy world they've built to escape reality, but it's a world that's leading them further away from the truth. The truth is, these idols don't know who they are. They're just one of millions of fans, another face in the crowd, another number boosting their popularity. But these stans refuse to accept that. They cling to the idea that they're special, that they're different, that they mean something to their idols. It's sad, it's delusional, and it's a stark reminder of how far they've fallen into their obsession. And then there's the groupthink. K-pop stans have this mob mentality that's terrifying to witness. Once a narrative takes hold within a fandom, it spreads like wildfire. Whether it's a rumor, a conspiracy theory, or a call to action, these stans will rally behind it without question. They'll attack anyone who disagrees, drown out opposing voices, and create an echo chamber where only their views are valid. It's a cult-like behavior that's incredibly toxic. They've lost the ability to think critically, to question what they're being told, and to see things from different perspectives. This groupthink extends to their interactions with other fandoms as well. The fan wars we talked about earlier, they're fueled by this very mentality. Instead of enjoying their own group's success, they're obsessed with tearing down others. It's a zero-sum game in their minds. If another group wins, it's a loss for them. They can't celebrate anyone else's achievements because they see it as a threat to their own. It's petty, it's immature, and it's just plain sad. But perhaps the most alarming aspect of K-pop stans is the way they've let their obsession take over their lives. For some of them, standing isn't just a hobby, it's their entire identity. They live and breathe K-pop, spending every waking moment consuming content, participating in fan activities, and engaging with other stans. They've let it consume them to the point where nothing else matters. Their grades slip, their social lives suffer, and their mental health deteriorates, all because they've chosen to prioritize their idols over everything else. And the irony? The very idols they worship would likely be horrified by their behavior. These idols didn't sign up for this. They didn't ask for their fans to go to such extreme lengths. They're just people. Talented, hardworking, and deserving of admiration, yes. But still, just people. They have their own lives, their own struggles, their own boundaries. But K-pop stans have stripped them of their humanity, turning them into objects of obsession rather than individuals. So why are K-pop stans like this? It's simple. They've lost themselves in the fantasy. They've allowed their love for K-pop to morph into something dangerous, something all-consuming. It's no longer about enjoying the music or supporting their favorite artists. It's about living through them, escaping into a world where they can be part of something bigger than themselves. But in doing so, they've lost sight of reality, of balance, of what it means to be a fan. They've traded normal, healthy fan behavior for something much darker, much more extreme. And it's time to face the truth. This level of fandom isn't just crazy, it's downright dangerous. It's unhealthy for the fans, for the idols, and for the entire K-pop industry. We need to call it out for what it is, an obsession that's gone too far, a fandom that's lost its way. Because if we don't, it's only going to get worse. The line between passion and obsession is thin, and too many K-pop stans have already crossed it. But what do you think? Are K-pop stans really out of control, or is this just a passionate community misunderstood by outsiders? Let's discuss it in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, especially if you've ever been on the receiving end of a K-pop stan's wrath.